Hi, Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center with a look at our weather week ahead, and it looks like some changes on the way here, especially as we head towards the weekend, as it still appears as if we'll see a tropical depression or tropical storm Claudette possibly make landfall in Louisiana. As far as the key player in that, going to be this ridge. You can see the upper level ridge over the Four Corners right now. The stronger this ridge is, the more east the track of that tropical system will take. And it appears as if the morning runs of the models, a pretty good agreement on this morning's runs, that the track has shifted back to the east somewhat, which means a drier weather picture for our area. Before we talk about that, let's talk about what to expect here for the next 24 hours. And of course, no major changes in the short term. Tonight we will see a mostly clear sky across the region, clear to partly cloudy. And tomorrow, expect a mix of clouds and sunshine. I think for the most part we stay dry tomorrow, and it definitely will stay hot, as we'll see lows in the morning in the middle 70s, daytime highs back up into the middle 90s across the vast majority of the region, and still, of course, the humidity around, but not as bad as we witnessed earlier in the week. Now, as far as the tropical system, again, the National Hurricane Center still indicates that we will see this system develop into a tropical depression at the very least. Show you first of all these spaghetti plots, and these really haven't offered a whole lot of information, as not a whole lot of spaghetti in the bowl so far is a good way of putting it. But you can see what models that do go out far enough do show a more easterly course. Let me show you an example of one global model's depiction, and you can see that we'll start you off at basically this afternoon. By the time we get to Friday morning, we could see our tropical system, either depression or possibly tropical storm, probably a depression at that point, south of the Louisiana coast, call it south-southeast of Lake Charles. Moving forward, it appears as if we could see a landfall, and the system could move over Lafayette. Now, don't get zeroed in too much on the exact location. The main thing is that the trend is more east, and you can see that by the time we get to Saturday evening, it could be crossing I-20 near Jackson. Obviously, of course, this far to the south and east means rainfall will be very limited, and the impacts from this system will be very limited. And every global model is pretty much on board with this as far as taking it further to the east than what was indicated yesterday. So, again, we have good agreement in the models right now in this run, but from run to run, we still have some inconsistencies. That tells you that there's still some uncertainty as to the final path, especially when we're talking about something that hasn't even developed yet. Once it develops and we get a couple of runs in and the higher res models start looking at it as well, we'll be able to zero down the exact forecast with a little bit more certainty. Now, as far as rainfall, there's going to be another disturbance which is going to come into play here early next week. Show you the overall pattern here. You can see that ridge is eventually going to break down, and you can see it extending into southwestern Missouri. That's one you can kind of think of this as a mountain, this is the mountain, this is the valley, and we're going to see that tropical system basically move in the valley off towards the north and east. Obviously, if the valley moves, then the track is going to move. That's a good way of looking at this. And you can see moving forward, once that system passes, another disturbance, pretty good trough develops here across the middle of the country. That's going to push a cold front into our area late Monday night into Tuesday, with a good shot for some showers or thunderstorms. And right now, given the more easterly course of the tropical system, most of our rain here in the next week and a half will come from this frontal passage, and it looks like we might see some drier air move in behind this system, which should limit our rainfall and greatly reduce it for the last half of next week. And as far as rainfall potential, basically from now into next weekend, the next 10 days, you can see here in the ArkLaTex, I would think, given our current model information, a half an inch to an inch is a reasonable expectation. Now, if that tropical system moves further to the east, we easily could be in that 2 to 4 inch range, depending on where that track does eventually go. So there's still some changes that could take place. Right now, looking a bit drier, definitely shouldn't cause too many issues if this actually takes place. And as far as temperatures, not going to be as hot once we get past Friday. Your 10-day forecast showing temperatures through Friday in the mid-90s, Saturday low 90s, depending depending on where that system goes. We warm back up into the mid-90s Sunday and probably Monday, with the rain Monday holding off until very late. And one note about Saturday, if that system tracks even further to the east, that 91 will very easily warm up. Oh, just to let you know that that's another change that could take place. And notice the effect of the cold front Tuesday, Wednesday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s will gradually ease back into the lower 90s with, again, kind of iffy rainfall chance late next week. So all in all, eyes are on the Gulf of Mexico here as we head towards the weekend. Latest runs of the models showing a more easterly course, but there's still a great deal of uncertainty. If it does move further west, we are looking at, again, the main impact being rain across especially the southeastern half of the region. But right now, it looks like most of the rain that we'll see in the next 10 days will occur early next week.